Okay, so this conversation is going to be all about how to get strategic about how to lift your mood, kind of like lifting weights at the gym. So this is all going to be about how to build awareness on how you specifically can lift yourself out of low moods. It also is going to help you create your own list. And you can share that list with other people so that they can spot you and help uplift you when necessary. And this is all about being better able to handle human emotion, because being able to handle our emotions and manage it is a key to success in life. So we're going to go into a number of different categories and build out our list. Okay. And we want to be as specific as possible in our responses. And we want to be able to use this stuff even before you need it, to always just stay in a high mood. And one of the reasons is once people are in a really bad mood, there's this irrational part that may want them to fight to stay in a bad mood. Like they don't want to be cheered up, right? It's just this phenomenon. I don't know if you've noticed it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to have 8 categories we're going to talk about. All right. So the first category is going to be, what can you think about to feel good? The second category is what smells make you feel good. The third category is what sounds make you feel good. The fourth is what places make you feel good. 5 is what activities make you feel good. 6 is what food or drinks make you feel good. 7 is what can you look at or watch to feel good. And 8 is what kind acts or contributions make you feel good. Okay, so I'm just going to share screen this with you so you can kind of see what we're going through here. This is the mood lifter here to uplift yourself. And we would just be filling out these questions here and having a conversation about it. And that's how that works there. Okay, so first of all, let's go with category 1. And once again, we would just be writing this down and building out a list. And anyone that's watching the video can follow along and do that as well. We want to unpack what can you think about to feel good. So, for example, what are you grateful for? What are some of your favorite memories you can recall? What are some of your favorite quotes? Who are some of your favorite people you can think about? Just thinking about them lifts your mood. What are some of your favorite animals you can think about that just lifts your mood? So why don't we do like I go, you go, and maybe we'll do like 3 each. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So I'm going to think about how back when I was growing up, how crazy excited our dog Tammy would get whenever we got home. She was like 10 pounds and she would just lose it. So excited. She couldn't even bark properly. She'd be like, woo, 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 like just losing her mind, like as if we were like rock star celebrities. Like every time we came home, it was like, you couldn't help it. She just made you feel amazing. Like you'd been gone forever. You could literally like just walk down the street and back. You come back and she's like, I hadn't seen you in like 20 years. Right. So that'd be one thing I think about could lift my mood right away.
Okay. For me, I would say like, if I'm ever wanting to like calm down or boost my mood, I always think of the beach. I don't know what it is. If it's like the sand, the sound of the water, I find super relaxing and like happy. And I would say just even the heat, my 3, like it's my mojo. Yeah. Even just the thought of the beach or listening to like the beach waves, sometimes in meditation, I find that helps a lot too in boosting my mood.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Another one of mine, thinking about a vacation. My wife Ashley and I took in 2020. We drove down the coast of California.
Oh gosh.
We went to like Universal Studios. We went to a whole bunch of like we went on a spiritual retreat down there. And we went to the San Diego Zoo and all this stuff. And we just had a blast. It was just the weather was great. And it was just thinking about that trip still to this day uplifts my mood.
Oh, I love that. Another one for me would be like being in nature. So like for me, I'm mainly in nature doing trails when I'm running. So I find like It doesn't matter like what weather condition it is or whenever I'm like running in nature, that combination together is just, yeah, an instant boost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. And then another thing, I'm going to just mix it up. So I've gone with like favorite memories, but something I'm
Oh
grateful
yeah.
for feeling good is what makes me feel good is like this whole phenomenon that like whenever we cut ourselves, there's some sort of force from within us that just like organizes the cells and the immune system to like protect us and heal it up and create a scab without us even thinking about it or putting in the effort. And I don't have the skill to do that. If I have to order my own body cells, it just happens for me. Right. So, so thinking about this like healing force within that's intelligent and intentional and working for my benefit makes me feel good to just remember it's the same force that beats my heart or keeps me breathing when I'm asleep at night. So that always puts me in a good mood to focus my gratitude on that.
I love that. It's so true. That's something like it that escapes your mind. It's like that doesn't just like there's an organized process around like how we heal ourselves too, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome. I would say even just thinking about like who I'm supported by. So like some of my like closest friends or even like coworkers or things like that, like people who have showed up for me or just kind of like pushed me to different heights, like those, I think that always kind of boosts my mood when you go back and think about like the individuals in your life you're grateful for.
Yeah. Yeah. The people who have shaped us into being who we are. For
Exactly.
sure, for sure. Spiritual teachers and mentors and guides and friends and family. I think another thing too is we could also think about our past successes and how we've helped people out in the past ourselves. And then even thinking about how much we've progressed and evolved in our lives. How much our attitudes and things have evolved. So all of that can really start to, if we just write that down and we ponder these things, immediately it starts to lift our spirits. So that's number one. So now we'll go on to number two. Number two is what smells make you feel good. Okay. So I'm going to have to explain this category and why it matters because it sounds kind of weird. So here's a fun fact. Okay. Research shows that one of the fastest ways to change the brain is through the sense of smell, because a smell can immediately take your brain back to a certain time in life. You smell a certain cologne and it reminds you of like your father right away or whatever. Like it can be like,
Right.
it has such a immediate impact on the brain. So we want to think, what are your favorite scents or aromas and what smells bring back pleasant memories? Okay. So I'll start off. One smell that always just makes me feel good is the smell of fresh coffee. Like, you walk into a coffee shop, the smell of fresh coffee or fresh coffee in the morning. For some reason, I'm just like, yuck,
Yes.
it's go time, like.
Yeah. That we can agree on 100%.
Okay.
100%. Um, one now that you said that, another one that I could think of is so my nana, like every Sunday, she makes like fresh tomato sauce. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like a thing. She always like cooks the tomato sauce for like a couple of hours and it's like ready. So it just reminds me of like the memory of being at her house on Sundays and all like being together having pasta. That smell kills me every time. Like if I walk in her door, you could smell it before you even walk in. Like it's the best.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. All right. Next one for me would be like the smell of fresh cut grass, right? Like just the smell of fresh cut grass. You just feel so alive. It reminds me of summer and
Oh,
times when life is just about having fun. But it's like just that smell of fresh cut grass just takes me back to, the cottage in the summer and stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, yeah, no, those I don't know this if this is even a scent, but like spring fresh air, like
Oh yeah.
that is an instant boost. Like, the morning dew and like you're walking outside and that fresh boost. Yeah, that's definitely a big one for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm also going to say like the smell of burning wood or like campfire smell.
Oh, campfire. Yes.
Yeah, it's like, and it's really funny because I can tell like
Yeah,
this
that's a
answer,
good
I
one.
can tell this answer is your answer too, because I can see in you your spirit be uplifted just thinking about it. You're like, yes, all right, I'm in a good mood. Yeah, so that immediately just, there's something about that smell, it just elevates me for sure. All right, back over to you.
It's working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's mood therapy.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. We're back. Perfect. Yeah, it's definitely mood therapy for sure. And it's funny, you don't think of those things, but everyone can relate to some of these scents, and it's like an instant boost for sure. Um, I would still go back to the beach. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a beach bum, but yeah, I would say like, yeah, just even the ocean, like there's nothing like it. Like there's a certain scent when you're going to the beach, or maybe that's more of a sound, but yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. There is that kind of like the smell of the ocean. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think there's other ones too, like freshly baked bread is a great smell. I like certain incense, like sandalwood can be
Oh
good.
gosh. Yeah.
Fresh cut flowers, the smell of coconut or the smell of citrus or the smell of peppermint, like
Oh yeah.
my mom actually has
Yep.
my grandpa's cologne, a bottle of his cologne, and she's like, come here. She's like, smell this.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, it's grandpa right away, right? So she keeps it and she
Oh,
smells it from every now and then. So great. So those are the smells that
that's
can
so
make us
sweet.
feel good. So sometimes we want to have smells that are like really convenient that we can access when we need it. And then some are more like a luxury if, we can't access the smell of the ocean maybe all the time. But so we just want to have a good list. So we have options. Okay, now sounds. Category 3 is what sounds make you feel good. Okay. So for this category, we're going to think about what do you like to listen to or sing to or dance to? What are your favorite sounds in nature? What are your favorite songs? What are your favorite noises? Whatever that might be. Okay. So I know for me, one of the sounds I love is early morning birds chirping, doing their little cheep,
Oh yes.
little songs. And then I walk outside, I'm like, are you guys singing for me? Is that what's going on here? But just little birds singing early in the morning. I love getting out and hearing them do their thing. So that's definitely one of my sounds I enjoy.
That is such a boost. Unless it's at like 2 in the morning, then it's like, I had one in my head. Well, for sure, I would say like Spanish music for me.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it's an instant boost because I just think of people dancing and just the whole atmosphere of like, it's just, yeah, I think Spanish music is awesome for a boost.
That's cool. That's cool. I think
Yeah.
also some of the music that I know that works for me is I love the Beatles, right?
Oh, yes. Yep.
Even the Beach Boys I find are feel good music,
Yeah.
80s music, right?
Yes.
Like, and then there's certain songs, and anything by Mumford and Sons tends to
Oh,
pick me
Mumford
up.
and Sons is fire. Yeah.
And then sometimes certain theme songs or actually, that song "Don't Worry, Be Happy," that one too.
That's a
Bobby
cute one.
McFerrin, the Indiana Jones theme song works super well. Like, a lot
It's
of
such a
those.
mission song.
Yeah, the Back to the Future theme song, like lots of
I
those
love that.
kind of work for me as well. Or even as far as nature goes, one of my favorites is the Call of a Loon, like over the
Oh,
lake.
nice.
They have a beautiful bird call for sure.
Oh, wow. Um, Something that gets to me for sure is piano.
Mm,
So whenever I hear someone playing the piano or even piano in a song or whatever it is, I love that. I find it super soothing and like It's even like it's a good boost. Like, I don't know, it's just I find music is magical. That's what I always say.
You know, I like that answer, piano music. And I would actually put that on my list. I like doing this with other people because I'd be like, okay, I'm going to take some of the answers you have and I'm going to borrow some here, right?
There's
Um,
no cheating here. Yeah.
Now, there is one I really love, and it has to do with an old Sesame Street skit. It's
No way.
these Yip Yip Martians, okay? And they're kind of like these simple Martians, and they just kind of make this yip, 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 yip sound. You can watch them on YouTube. They're ridiculously funny. But like with like friends, we'll do that like yip, yip sound when if life is getting like too serious, we just take it back to the simplicity of those Martians and their ridiculousness, just trying to figure out what a telephone is. But the Yip Yip Martians from Sesame Street, like that is definitely something that's
so cute.
hilarious. So
That's such a cute one.
I know. And we all first experienced it as kids, and even as adults, many years later, it still gets us. You know, like
it's the memories and stuff with it too, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right.
What
So
else can I think of? We had some good ones. Yeah, we had some good ones there.
any song that when it comes on, you're just like, yes. Or any sound. It could be the sound of the waves at the beach.
Yeah, that's obvious. That's always one for me. Always. Yeah, I would say the beach for sure. I think I was born on the beach.
There you go. The sounds of the beach. And because you can always put that on, like
Yeah.
my alarm clock has that where I can just press a button and it's like beach waves.
Yeah, it's the best.
But that is a very relaxing sound. It's almost like the pulse of the earth, almost like a heartbeat, right? The way it just kind of gently rolls in and out. It's a kind of something beautiful about it.
I
Okay.
love that.
Sometimes also there's a friend
Yeah.
that just has a crazy laugh that just and their laugh makes you laugh.
Oh
Right?
gosh.
So sometimes people have a contagious laugh,
Yeah.
and that can be something that makes us feel good too. Sometimes it's even like the
Yes.
crackling of old records and lots of stuff. Anyway, let's go on to category 4. What
Awesome.
places make you feel good? So what locations or environments lift your spirit? What atmosphere do you enjoy being in?
This is a solid question. The first one that came to my head, which is kind of funny, my best friend and I were always cooking, like, and we'll do like sometimes like nights where we'll go like to her place. It's always her place, and we'll always like kind of cook like a 3-course meal or whatever it is. So if I had to think of just like an environment that would instantly boost me, is if we are cooking in the kitchen together and just like bonding in that sense.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it could be just the kitchen. Perfect. And
yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
excellent. Love it. Love it. One for me would be my shed in my backyard. It's like I have
Oh
this
wow.
little wooden shed and I go in there and that's where I do a lot of like my meditation and stuff. And it's just the vibe in there is super cool. And I just love being in there like when the weather's nice and you know, so I just love
Beautiful.
going. It's almost like a man cave, right?
Wooden version.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And it's like
Really nice.
I got this old fridge that my grandparents had. It was like from the 1950s. It's a retro fridge and it's in there. I don't really put anything in it typically because I'm not really eating and drinking when I'm in the shed, but it's just got a cool retro vibe in there.
Love that. Another one that's one of my favorites is being down at Lakeshore. So like even if I'm like like I usually would run there but or bike there, but being by the lake, like right on the lakeshore is like one of my favorite things to do.
Oh yeah, that's a place that definitely. When I lived downtown Toronto, I used to love to just go for runs along the lakeshore, and there's
Oh,
people
it's
and
gorgeous.
there's the sun and the water. That's awesome for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely really, really great. For me, another place is our cottage, like right on
Oh
up in the
yes.
Ottawa Valley. So it's just a place where you're just in harmony with nature. You're just connected to nature, the chipmunks and the birds and the sun and the trees and everything else. So and it's just a location I've been going to my
Beautiful.
whole life. So I just feel like It's probably my favorite place on earth, but it's just, I feel like
Oh,
so alive just being in that environment. Like everything is better in that environment.
and the sunsets are immaculate. The ones you showed me, like
Oh yeah, yeah. Like
beautiful,
sometimes it's just like you wake up and it's just a vibrant purple sky, and it's like crazy. It's
gorgeous.
like, oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Um, I would say just this is a very general thing, but I like being kind of in a group atmosphere in like an exercise setting. I find it's very uplifting, and maybe that's just the places I'm at, but like even in a yoga setting or if we're teaching a group class, I find like people are very encouraging and it's very much a boost. Like there's a really good boost. There's people supporting each other, pushing each other. It's a really nice environment to be in.
Perfect. Yeah, the gym, group exercise, really supportive environment for sure.
Yeah.
That would work, right? So, um, for myself too, I'd say also like another place might be like um going to one of our local favorite restaurants. Like
Ooh, yeah,
there's a last night for date night, we went to a 50s diner that we go to that's just around the corner from our
that's
house.
awesome.
So you walk in and it's all like Elvis and Marilyn Monroe and 50s music, and it's all like the colors are like, fuchsia and turquoise, and it's just like stepping into a time warp. And the funny thing is that I went to this restaurant for like birthdays for people when I was in grade school, and the restaurant's still there. This
That's
restaurant,
awesome.
Melanie Pringles in Whitby, and it's like definitely going there is always fun. Like, and they have like the old school shakes and nachos and like all this stuff.
So cool.
They still
Did they
have
ever
the
have
party room there that I remember like when I was in like 7 years old and whatever, and we'd go like for kids' birthday parties in the party room, and that party room is still there. I saw it. I'm like, I was in that party room as a kid. I remember being in that party room. But
did,
so a favorite restaurant can be like a response as well, for sure.
did they ever have roller skates? Like servers and roller skates or no?
No, you know
Roller
what? I have not seen that phenomenon yet there. That's a good
I
suggestion.
think I think it's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that is totally.
Um, yeah, that's a good one. I would say I can't believe I didn't think of this before, but coffee shops.
Yes.
So yeah, like visiting like new ones or even like local, I find it's always a really solid experience because you're usually going to meet like the cafe owner and everyone in there is either like studying or very laid back and conversive. So I find it a really good atmosphere as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had this one. I kind of miss it, but it was downtown Toronto. There's this Tim Hortons that has uh coffee on tap, like kind of like how you'd have beer
Come
on
on.
tap. And it was just across the street from where I worked. So I'd meet people there and we just hang out and have conversations, right? But it'd feel like just totally the vibe was awesome. But yeah, so anyway, there's lots of different locations we could think about that we want to just itemize so we can strategically put ourselves into those locations. It could be like the parents' house, it could be like a pool hall, could be like Tofino, British Columbia, or a live reggae concert, or a particular forest or park or theme park or the zoo because of all the crazy fun animals. Like, so we just want to be able to make a good list on that. So now let's go on to number 5. Number 5 is, what activities make you feel good? So what are your favorite types of pastimes, games, projects, hobbies? What do you like to create? So let's go into activities that make you feel good.
The R word, running. Yeah, for sure. And that's not the only thing. Running for sure. And I would say cooking, I already kind of mentioned earlier, but yeah, like cooking with friends is always a fun time, depending on which friend it is.
Yeah.
Depends how how messy they are in the kitchen. Just kidding. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, those are two I could think of right now for sure.
Perfect. Perfect. And it's awesome because then somebody can plan the perfect day for you, because they can be
Yeah.
like, hey, Monica, we're going to go down to the beach. We're going to go for a run. Okay. Then we're going to cook in the kitchen. We're going to listen to piano music. Right.
Love it.
I'm going to
Yeah.
make fresh coffee, so the smell is infusing the kitchen. Right. Like, but then when you really need a pick me up, the special people in your life have the research they need to be most effective with their efforts.
I
So
love it.
you want to give this list to the people in your life that are in that position to lift you up when you need it, right? So for me, a couple of things, like one is going for a bike ride. I like that because I just like to see more scenery. Nature walks are one of my big ones. Just, it's always different. You never know what wildlife you're going to run into, or how the sun looks on the water and everything else. Could be like just even like exercising, lifting heavy things, you know, spending time around funny people, you know. So sometimes it's board games, like fun board games. Planning a travel adventure, not even going on the travel adventure, but just planning it can be fun.
Yeah.
In fact, they showed that when you plan like a vacation or a trip, it uplifts your spirit and energizes you for up to 6 months. So I always encourage people to have at least one trip or adventure planned every 6 months. So you're always looking forward to something, because during the anguishing monotony of the day-to-day, that can be enough to kind of keep you elevated, right?
Yeah, it's definitely true.
So, you know, could be like other activities, could be like dressing up nice, crossing things off the to-do list, you know, maybe like paddle boarding, fishing, painting, gardening.
Yes.
Logic puzzles. There's like that Wordle one that everyone's doing right now. Bocce ball. I love bocce ball as well. It's a lot of fun. Chess. Prayer and meditation are activities that, you know, can just make you feel like peaceful and connected and loved and supported. So any other ones you'd throw out there?
I would say like coffee dates, like even going to my nana's house for coffee, or like doing let's say like yoga. I know that one's always a good one. Even just simple stuff like taking a walk. Vacation stuff is always fun, like you said. What else? Yeah, you hit mainly, like you hit a lot of them.
You know, I think another thing, it's going to sound silly, is like visiting friends and getting to like hang out, like getting to, you know, when you're visiting them, obviously there's the benefits of that, but also enjoying their dogs, you know, because it's like you can pet their dog and play with their dog, and at the end of the day, you just give it back, right? It's like, you know, like I like seeing other people's dogs when I go see them, you know?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Animals for sure. I like others' pets, and then I go home to none.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So let's go to this then. Category 6. Okay. What food or drinks make you feel good? So if you could have one last meal, what would it be? You know, and particularly I always ask, what are your favorite healthy food and drinks? I try to get as many of the healthy options as we can, because they're more sustainable in the long term. So what are some of your favorite food or drinks that kind of pick you up?
Coffee's overused on this one, but yes, coffee for sure. I would say even like pasta. If I had to pick one last meal, it would definitely be pasta oriented. Maybe that's the Italian blood, but yeah, for sure. Like there's nothing like making your own fresh pasta. Like it's awesome.
Yeah.
What else? On to you. Let me think about this one.
Okay, good. Boom. I'm in. Okay. For me, you know, peppermint tea is one.
Oh,
because I find it's just stimulating, and it's almost like I feel like I just brush my teeth. It's just like hi, and it's just like you have just like this fresh breath. So that's one. Fruit salad, like, or just like pineapple or coconut, like those ones definitely lift me up. Now, another one I encourage for people is, sometimes if life is like overwhelming or getting too serious, try just having some of your favorite childhood cereal. Old
oh my
favorite childhood
gosh.
cereal can just take you back to a time when life was simple. For me, like one of them is Alpen. It's got like this mountain on it, or like Life cereal. It's called Life.
Yep.
And or Honey Nut
I was
Cheerios.
terrible.
But
I was like all the sugary cereals, like Fruit Loops, Corn Pops, like those are like the every like I swear I was on a sugar boost since being a kid. But yeah, the honeycomb was one. Do you remember honeycomb?
oh yeah. That was another good one. I think it had the bear mascot.
It's so funny. Yeah, and my mom used to buy like when we'd go camping, she would buy like the Costco pack. So it'd be like all the sugary cereals in a box that you could just eat
Oh
out of.
yeah. Yeah. So other
That's a
answers.
good one.
Sometimes people will say like homemade chocolate chip cookies because you get the smell of it, you get the experience, and then you get to taste it. So that's one people say, like maybe like chips and guacamole or salsa, or
Tacos. Yeah, it's always fun.
yeah. One for me is actually movie popcorn. Like if you go to the movies and get
Oh,
movie popcorn, it's always like, hey, like I know we're paying like 3 or 4 times more than we should, but there's just something about this tradition. Like sometimes all reason
yeah.
and logic is out the window. It's movie popcorn. There's just something special about it, right? Like,
Yeah, instant boost. I actually know someone, one of my friends I had gone over the other day who just went to the movies to pick up popcorn so that everyone could have it at her house. I didn't know
uh,
that was a thing until now.
there you go. They were doing mood lifter. They knew in
Right.
advance, mood lifter. I'm going to do this. Love it. Eating peaches also reminds me of the summer. Like whenever
Oh,
you're eating
yes.
peaches, right? Like it's hard to be in a bad mood when you're eating a peach. It's just like eating a little ball of
Yeah.
sunshine in your
Cherries.
hand, you know?
Cherries are always a big one because we always used to go cherry picking down in Niagara Falls. So that one's a really good one too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So yeah, people might say like, a square of dark chocolate, matcha green tea, celery juice. Like there might be a whole bunch of different answers we have here. Obviously, we want to bias the ones that are healthy because we don't
Yes.
want to be using unhealthy food or drinks and get caught on that as pick-me-ups, because that, as we know, can be a problem. But it's kind of like, let's bias the healthy stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
way, if you're having a bad day at work, then, and you're going home, that special somebody can say, Monica, don't worry, because I've made a special dinner tonight, and it might be like candlelight, piano music, and a bowl of honeycomb cereal. Right? Like,
What a solid combo.
but but there you go. And how could you not laugh and enjoy it, right? Like,
That is hilarious. I love that.
but that would pick you up. But that's the whole idea, is we need to be more strategic with
Yeah.
keeping our emotions high, right? Okay,
Yeah.
let's go on to the next one. Number 7. Okay. What could
Awesome.
you look at or watch to feel good? So I want you to think about, what are your favorite videos? That could be like movies or videos on the internet or whatever, or shows, or maybe sports you like to watch, or people you like to watch, or animals you like to watch, or objects, whatever you want. What do you think?
Well, I like to watch like well, when the Olympics are on or like sports, volleyball, like volleyball and running or swimming, like those three and tennis, like four. Those are like solid sports I watch that I think are mood boosting.
I like to watch some of the favorite movies from growing up.
Oh yes.
Movies like The Goonies, I think is a good one, and it's got a kind of a good
Yeah.
message, or Back to the Future, or Never Ending Story, and some of those movies are good pick-me-up movies, or even like old Muppets, you know, like
Yeah.
uh
That's so fun.
curious baby animals. Like any footage of curious baby animals is always endearing to watch. Looking at like
100%.
crystals and gemstones actually works for me. Like I love just seeing like amethyst and citrine and all the different like crystals, and just walking around at like a rock, gem, and mineral show can be inspiring. Stand-up comedy or improv, like Second City
Oh
Improv, I
yeah.
love. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
just such a fun time. A lot of
Well,
people like to
even
watch sports highlights on TV. Like they just like to see the sports highlights at the end of the day, or
yeah,
stuff like that.
even like vacation photos, baby photos, like takes you back to like old memories. That's always a good boost.
Yeah. And then sometimes there's like movies with actors or actresses we like. Like a lot of Tom Hanks movies are great, you know, like Forrest Gump and stuff, and
Yeah,
John
I just watched
Candy
that one.
movies. Oh, you just watched that one? That's good. Bill Murray, I think, is really funny too,
Yeah,
right? So um
yeah.
yeah, like it's a matter of just knowing, and then sometimes it's like silly videos on the internet, cats falling off of things or whatever, right? So it's like sometimes people like to watch that, or feel good movies. I loved The Octopus Teacher. Was such a good movie too.
Hmm, never heard of that one.
Oh, it's this guy makes friends with an octopus. It's so heartwarming. But I absolutely loved it. Loved it. So okay, category 8. Okay.
Yeah.
Category 8 is what kind acts or contributions make you feel good. So it's all about this. It's all about finding
Okay.
happiness in the service of others. All right. So how do you most like to help or serve others? What morals or values do you like to represent? Okay. So for me, one is to be a friend to everybody, like especially to strangers, to just immediately like look at them and treat them like a long lost friend. Like I love that idea of kindness to strangers is one of the things I enjoy a lot.
I love that. Yeah, I think it's like so important too. Like I think I there's a couple of times I told you where like even like with cashiers or like other individuals where like you kind of go beyond the typical questions and they almost look shocked that you're treating them like a human sometimes,
Oh
you know?
yeah.
Um, but I would say like with people, I like to I'm more on the like acts of service. So like if I know a friend, I don't know, maybe is having a rough day and there's an errand that I can run that's gonna make their day a little bit easier. I like doing stuff like that. Or even just like doing like surprise things. So sometimes like getting something delivered to their door that I know will boost them, whether it's like coffee or whatever it is. I like to do stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's just small, like simple things, or even like, I don't know, let's say there's something that you said that you like what we're talking about right now. Maybe there's a certain chocolate bar from your childhood that you like haven't found or haven't had for so long. Like stuff like that. I like to pick up on and just use those little like, mood boosters for friends or family or whoever it is to
Mm-hmm.
show appreciation in some ways. But also just being like in conversation, like being very attentive and actually like listening to someone and being present. Like I think that's really important. Like to be an open ear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. You're crushing it on this category.
Oh,
It
thank
shows
you.
you have a heart of gold. There's like so much of your happiness is found in creating happiness for others. And I think
Yeah.
that's a good formula. I think when we, instead of self-gratification, we find our happiness in creating happiness for others, it's a more lasting happiness. And that's why category 8 is so powerful, because it helps us like ourselves better, and it helps just boost our own spirits in such a lasting way when we've done some good for somebody, you know?
Yeah.
So one of my things I started doing was, instead of having coffee in the morning, to pick me up, I would call people up, and or I'd leave a voice recording just to give them
Your
like
voice. Yeah.
encouragement, things I appreciate about them and what other people appreciate about them, and remind them of their highest potential and stuff. Like That could be it. Or just having, you know, taking people on nature walks and just having really high quality conversations, talking about the more important and relevant things of life and just sharing insights and wisdom that can be helpful with people. I think
I love
because,
that.
you know, anything to benefit suffering humanity really is what it comes down to for me. It's in any way, if I am gifted in any way, I like to use those gifts immediately and however I can to benefit suffering humanity. And I find the greatest fulfillment in
That's
that.
beautiful.
So it's like if there's wisdom and insights that come to me and in meditation and whatever, or through books I'm reading, then my goal is to just turn it around and give it back to those who are suffering that might benefit. I mean, that's why we're doing calls like this and recording it,
Exactly.
uploading it online is just for whoever's watching. Like, this is a category 8 action step for us, you know, to be able to share.
So true.
Right? Because I think there's something about that shared human condition we're all going through. And, you know, as we're trying to figure it out, we struggle with our frustrations and our emotional pain and everything else. And I think that, I think there's a beauty in knowing that other people are going through that too. And even though they don't know you, they're going to reach out and try to help you anyway. And you're probably going to do the same to other people at some point as well, if not already. So I think there's just something beautiful about humanity helping humanity, you know?
I love it.
It's the whole idea of one world family. Like, I just like, I'm a big fan of this idea of just looking at it. It's like a one world family, like getting rid of these divisions and classes and all these, you know, things that are just made up that divide us all. Let's just get back to the one world family idea. You know, like,
Seriously.
so, you know, encouraging more inclusive mindsets like that, and helping people find inner peace in various ways, teaching, mentoring,
Beautiful.
whatever, coaching. But I think also, like, sometimes for people, this can be very simple. Like, this can be just entertaining guests at your house. Maybe like just entertaining guests. Maybe you just like serving like healthy organic food to people and preparing recipes or sharing those recipes with people. That can be great. You know, I know somebody who picks up garbage all around the neighborhood. They do it quietly and discreetly. And this is something they do, and it makes them feel good in their soul that they're picking up garbage around the neighborhood, right?
I love that. Yeah.
Could be helping people with house repairs, you know, driving people around, being like any of these different types of activities, getting strangers to smile or laugh. Like, you know, what is the good we can do in the world? Because that is definitely one of the ultimate mood lifters. Right? So, okay, so let's talk about how to put this all together. So we make these big long lists, we write them out. Then what do we do with them next? What are your thoughts? How can we make use of this information?
Well, first, I would say keep it visible. Like, I feel like that's a big one, because out of sight, out of mind. And kind of like what you said, where you could share it with the people like who are around you the most, and also you can have them kind of go through it too, so that you're able to understand what boosts their mood quicker, and it's kind of like a recipe for mood boost, right?
Yeah, for me personally, what I've done with this is I did it with my wife. On date night, we went through this, and I've hung her answers in the bathroom mirror. So I look at it when I brush my teeth twice a day. So when I'm planning like a date night or anything that I know I have at my fingertips, I know the things that can pick up her mood, but I also know the things I can say that pick up her mood, and they're ridiculous. And I didn't know about them before, but a lot of times it's like one-liners from childhood that like her friends or family would say, and they'd all have a good laugh. And it's like one is like a line. Do you remember Ernest from the Ernest movies?
I don't.
Anyway, Ernest P. Worrell, he says this line like, "You know what I mean, Vern?" Like he says that. And so that was one of her quotes and lines that makes her feel good. So I can throw that into a conversation. If you know, maybe she's had a challenging day at work or anything like that, or for whatever reason, then I might be able to use that. And then there was another line from like Anne of Green Gables that makes her laugh. And it was like, I don't do well with reptiles. Like a little girl said this in the class. And then like, I guess her mom and her and a whole bunch of people keep quoting that line, and they have been their whole life. And I didn't know about this until I did this drill with her. So then we have this whole line, like, I don't do well with reptiles. And then we went to this Reptilia reptile zoo, and that line, we were just cracking each other up with that line whenever there was an awkward encounter with a reptile. But it's like simple little intel that just makes a big difference,
Yeah.
right? Like, because then you can manage the moods and emotions of the people that you're here to care for better when you know this. So I think a good thing is to sit down and do this with people you care about. And then they can, you know, they have the power now to be more effective in their efforts to help you lift your mood when you need a little help. And then the other thing is just knowing how to be good to yourself, like knowing how to love yourself and love yourself first. And when you keep yourself in a good mood, everybody benefits. Like you are better able to carry out your unique love mission on earth. I was going to say your unique life mission, which is all about love, learning, leaving a legacy. Like you're better able to be you and live your best life when you keep your spirits high. And it's more fun this way. Like why go through life in a low mood when it's more fun to be in a high mood?
It is, yeah.
Intelligent people do a cost benefit analysis of things. Cost benefit analysis, just be in a good mood. Okay, like literally, like the cost benefit analysis. This is a no brainer. Be in a good mood. Do this stuff before you need it.
So true. Yeah.
Do this stuff before you need it. Like even for myself, like I keep crystals around and different things. I keep my favorite books around because looking at it puts me in a good mood. Like I keep this beside where one of my favorite books I keep beside my computer when I'm on the computer because looking at it uplifts me. And just anything that you know, just surround yourself with beauty and things that lift your spirits. I think that's a very helpful strategy for life, and it makes life way more fun, you know?
Yeah. The little things go a long way, right?
Awesome.
Amazing.
So that is Mood Lifter.
Love it.
That is Mood Lifter. And thank you for sharing your time and your wisdom and perspective with everyone who might benefit from watching this recording, because we're all in this together, doing whatever we can to help each other out and lift each other's spirits. We're all doing Mood Lifter for the whole world here. That's what we're trying to do. Let's just lift everyone's spirits all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Let's do go
Beautiful.
Team on 3. Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Here we go. 1,
Ready.
2, 3. Go team.
Go team. Have an awesome day.
Take care.
Bye.